Hi Terry, I'm Kenzie. I'm going to be your nurse today.
Hi.
And I know that you're here just for like a regular checkup, but it's kind of common for us to ask questions about any substance abuse, tobacco use, anything like that. So do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Why?
I mean, it's just kind of common for us to do for all patients. Do you mind?
I guess if it's common, that's fine.
Okay. So can you tell me if you use any alcohol, tobacco, or illicit drugs?
Well, I have never used illicit drugs. I don't get into that.
Okay.
And I don't drink, but I do smoke quite a bit.
Okay, so no alcohol, no illicit drugs, but you smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So do you smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, I smoke Camel.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your daily cigarette use.
I smoke about 2 packs a day, probably every day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just like the way it makes me feel, and it's just kind of what I do.
Okay, 2 packs a day. So how long about would you say you've been smoking 2 packs a day?
Well, I started when I started high school,
Okay.
and now I'm 24, so when I was 14, I guess I started, and I've been smoking 2 packs a day just about every day, really, since then.
Okay, 24 now, so that's about 10 years then?
I guess. It seems like a long time.
Okay. Do you think that's been affecting your health at all?
Actually, recently, the doctor said I had asthma,
Okay.
and I've had a lot of shortness of breath just from walking. I don't know if that's related to smoking or anything, but yeah, my asthma's really been bothering me, and the shortness of breath. Does that have anything to do with smoking?
Well, actually, asthma and shortness of breath, you said that those were the 2 things your doctors talked to you about, you were diagnosed with symptoms? Okay, well,
Yeah.
those 2 actually are pretty common with smoking. Just
Okay.
because smoking, what's inside of it, it's like a tobacco, like you said. So when you inhale that, it just kind of sits in your lungs. And so
Oh.
that's really going to impair your gas exchange. You're not going to
Okay.
get as much oxygen. So that could be possibly where your shortness of breath and asthma are from.
All right, that
It's
makes
definitely
sense.
possible.
I always I see all these commercials that smoking's bad for you, but I never really knew why, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay, well, have you seen it affect your family, your relationships, anything like that at all?
Actually, my brother's daughter, I have a niece that I'm in love with, but he's not allowing me to see her when I smoke.
Okay.
So actually, when she was born a few years ago, I cut back for a little bit, and I did not smoke around her because he doesn't allow me to see her
Okay.
if I'm smoking. And I love spending time with her, but I'm finding that I also have this need to smoke, so I've kind of chosen smoking, and I don't really get to see her as much, and I would like to see her a lot more.
Okay. So you're saying there's a little bit of discrepancy between you really want to smoke and then also wanting to spend time with your niece?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you tried possibly before to quit in order to see your niece?
I tried a little bit when she was born, so I would go over to his house, and I wouldn't smoke all day, and I would wear clean clothes, and I would hold her, and I loved it. But then I got to a certain point, and I just had to have a cigarette, so I had to leave. And one time I actually babysat her, and
Okay.
I went outside and I smoked, and then I came back in, and then a few hours later he returned home, and he realized that I smoked, and we got in a big fight, and it just wasn't very pretty. So it's hard because I love my niece, but I also am addicted to smoking.
Okay, so your smoking has definitely had an impact on your family relationships, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have a family history of smoking or any kind of diseases, illnesses associated with it?
Illnesses. My dad actually died of lung cancer a
I'm
few years
sorry.
ago. Yeah, it was really hard for me because, you know, I don't get to see my niece a lot. My mom's kind of estranged, so I was really close with my father, and then when he passed away, it was just really tough on me, and I don't know, I don't really know how that affected my smoking. I guess it didn't really change it.
Okay. So your father's passing did upset you a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think it had any correlation with lung cancer or smoking habits?
I don't know. I guess
You're not sure?
smoking and lung cancer, I guess, are they related?
Yes, in fact, they actually are.
Oh,
It may
okay.
not have been the cause, but they do have a really strong correlation. So
Oh,
it's
really?
possible. Yes,
Oh,
it's
okay.
possible.
And that makes me feel really sad then that I continued to smoke.
I'm sorry about that. You know,
Thank
there's
you.
always possibility to
Yeah.
change your habits. Do you mind if I offer you some advice?
No, that's fine.
Okay, well, considering your smoking habits, I think it'd be a good idea to cut back, especially since you said it's been affecting your family relationships and even your
Yeah.
health. So I actually have right here, it's a readiness ruler.
Oh,
And what it is, it's like a scale of 0 to 10. So a 10 is a number you'd rate if you were ready to completely quit and cut off cigarettes immediately. This 0 right here, if you rate a 0, it's that you're ready to not really ready to quit completely, and you're not even ready to cut back. You're kind of just stuck in your ways. So
Okay.
after our conversation, what would you rate right now?
Probably a 2 or a 3.
2 or 3? Okay, so why not a 0 or 1?
I think you have kind of convinced me about some of the positives, and you've kind of brought to light that lung cancer and asthma and shortness of breath is correlated with smoking, and you've really kind of highlighted the fact that I never get to see my niece, and she's 10 now, and I feel like that's kind of like slipping away from me, but I get stressed because I don't think I can quit altogether.
Okay.
So maybe
that's why you didn't rate it a 9 or a 10?
Yeah, I didn't rate it a 9 or a 10 because I'm just not that ready. I think I'm just nervous.
Okay. I understand that you're not ready to quit completely, but
Okay.
can you maybe list the pros and cons of smoking just so we can kind of get
Yeah.
your number?
Pros, I would get to see my niece.
Okay.
People wouldn't look at my teeth and smell my clothes and smell my car. There's kind of a stigma attached to smoking, so I think some pros would be I would have a healthier lifestyle, my health, my family relationships would improve. Some cons, I like doing it socially with my friends. I like the oral fixation of it. I like the way it tastes. I just kind of, I like it. It's my routine, and I think maybe I would slip back into depression if I stopped. So I don't know.
So to me, it sounds like the pros outweigh the cons a little bit. Is that what it sounds like to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we maybe talk about different ways you could possibly start cutting back?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So what could you tell me about ways you'd cut back?
Well, I guess I do get my cigarettes each morning on the way to work. I take a certain way to work, and I stop at a gas station and I get 2 cigarettes a day. So maybe if I took a different route to work, that I could maybe smoke 1 pack of cigarettes a day rather than 2. Would that even be helpful?
We could definitely have that as one of your goals to start cutting back. How about any kind of support? Do you have any support to cut back?
I actually go to a support group at the clinic, and we talk about a lot of things. So I think maybe if I confided in them, maybe they have similar stories, that could help me feel better.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a different route to work.
Okay.
And that will prevent you from smoking 2 packs a day.
Yes.
And then possibly support groups, because I know you go for them for depression treatment, correct?
Right.
Okay. So would you think about possibly leading a support group about smoking?
That sounds like a good idea, but I don't know about yet. I don't think I'm ready to lead yet.
That's completely fine. But it'd be definitely a good step if you consider cutting back. I think you'd be a great influence on everyone else.
Okay.
All right. So considering everything we just talked about, your goals, how smoking's affected your health, how it's affected your relationships with your family, your friends.
Yeah.
If you were to rate yourself now on the readiness roller, same one as before, what would you say?
Probably a 7 or an 8.
Okay, so a little bit higher now?
Yeah.
Why not a 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 like you had before?
I really think you've brought a lot of good points to light, and I really miss my family, and I want to become healthier, and I'm getting older. It's been 10 years now that I've been addicted, and I see people that quit, and I think cutting back would be a really great place to start, and I'm really contemplating taking this really seriously and quitting.
Okay, good. So you have a higher scale, number on the scale now.
Yeah.
All right, so I think this has been a good visit, but do you mind if we set up an appointment possibly in the future sometime next week?
No, I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before our appointment, when do you think you would start trying to attain these goals that we talked about?
Probably Monday. So when I start the work week, I will smoke 1 pack a day each day and no more starting Monday.
Okay.
And then we'll have our appointment and we'll talk about it and go from there maybe.
Okay, yeah. So you want to start trying to achieve these goals Monday.
Yes.
How about we set up an appointment for Tuesday so we can kind of talk about how you went about achieving those goals?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, well, thank you so much for talking
thank you.
with me.